This message is brought to you by Apple Pay. Forget your wallet? It's all good. Because with Apple Pay, you can pay with a simple tap of your iPhone, the wallet you never forget, at millions of places worldwide, including websites, apps, and anywhere you see the contactless symbol. Security is built in with Face ID, so you don't have to worry about your cards getting lost or stolen. And the best part, you still earn the card rewards, points, and cash back you love. So say goodbye to the bifold, add your card to Apple Wallet, and start paying the Apple way. Terms apply. Toyota's all in all season with another year of Toyota Game Day giveaways. The official automotive partner of the NFL is giving fans the chance to win epic prizes like Brock Purdy's favorite Toyota Sequoia, NFL shop gear, and more. Play for free by predicting which big plays will happen during the second half of every Sunday night football game. This is going to be fun. Visit toyota.com/NFL now to learn more. Toyota, let's go places. No purchase necessary, void where prohibited. Ends on 2/8/26. Open to legal residents of the 50 United States and D.C., 18 and over. For complete details, how to enter prizes, and official rules, visit toyotasgamedaygiveaways.com.
Whether you're kicking off a campaign, gearing up for an event, or suiting up your team, 4imprint has the promo products to move your brand down the field. With thousands of customizable options like premium apparel, drinkware, tech totes, and giveaways, it's easy to score fan favorites that deliver impact. You'll get expert support, speedy delivery, and their 360-degree guarantee, so you can be 4imprint certain your order arrives exactly right on time. Explore more at 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
Jordan and Jake.
I feel good. I'm excited, ready to go.
Delhomme stops. He throws it across field. Guess who? Jordan Gross.
Here are your Panther Hall of Honor members, Jordan Gross and Jake Delhomme.
Jake Delhomme, Jordan Gross, the Jordan and Jake podcast. Jake, today is September 17th when we're recording this. Happy FFA workday, Jake.
Well, same to you, Jordan.
FFA, Future Farmers of America. Are you familiar with this?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, it's a high school program nationwide. Some places are more into it than others. Shocker, Fruitland, Idaho happens to be quite into FFA. So today is the work day where you go out and you earn your FFA fees by doing some job, preferably in an agricultural field. So my daughter, Rainey, and I are spending the day outside of this podcast recording, doing stuff around our property, trimming trees, moving water. We got to pick some potatoes later, just all that kind of stuff. So just thought you might enjoy knowing what was going on with me.
Well, I think it's awesome. And I think it's great you're doing it with your daughter, Rainey, who it sounds like, she might be into everything. She might be one of those, which I think is great.
Well, when you live in a small town, then you kind of got to do everything because those are your only options.
Well,
like if you live in a city, it could be like, hey, I could go to a music festival here, FFA workday. Almost as good, right?
yeah, but I think you get more out of the FFA work day, to be quite honest.
But it is good quality work time together. And I had some quality time with you this last weekend, buddy. Thoroughly enjoyed the face-to-face fellowship and a pretty good game we got to watch, Jake. But we had sponsored dinner. You and I what a good weekend. And the Panther at halftime, I was thinking to myself, okay, 20-3. What are we doing here? We're getting our snack. We talked to Darren Gant out there at the media press box. But the second half came alive, Jake. Just ended up, in my opinion, being a positive weekend, all things considered, but lots of things to definitely discuss.
Yeah, Jordan. I just think for the second week in a row, we put ourselves in such a hole that we don't even know what our game plans look like, to be honest. We have some first half stuff, but we're in such a hole due to kind of turnovers, and then the second half we become this one-dimensional team. So I'd love to see our running game get going because that's what I think we wanted to try to hang our hat on, but we really haven't been able to do that. And then we took a major blow with a couple of starting offensive linemen being out for looks like an extended period of time. So, it's tough starting out 0-2. Love the fight. and the resilience of this football team and coming back and continue to battle to give ourselves a chance. I mean, I don't think it's been talked about nearly enough. Recovering an onside kick, the percentage of recoveries is extremely low. So to be able to do that to give ourselves a chance, and it looked like we just kind of ran out of gas a little bit, to be quite honest, because throwing it 55 times, those poor receivers and those linemen, and you can attest to that. It's a whole lot different firing out on a run block than it is setting on a pass set and catching some of these big D linemen.
Jake, I want to talk right off the bat. You hit it, the IR situation with the O line, man. It was in the same drive, wasn't it? I mean, I know it was both fourth quarter. Was it same drive? We lost Hunt and then Corbett, I think. Either
Maybe
way,
Jordan. I'd be
it
lying
was
to you.
either yeah, it was either two drives back to back or whatever. Hunt goes out. We talked about it on the radio. Here comes Zavala. Immediately, Calais Campbell lines up over him. They run some twist games. There's pressure. And then you see Corbett down on the ground. In comes Cade Mays. I don't think I've ever been a part of that, Jake, to lose two linemen in this, like, even in the same game is rare, but to have it back to back like that and just like as good of luck as the onside kick was, that's the equal bad luck. I mean, it was five. I think we said it on the air, 5% chance to recover an onside kick. I mean, it's got to be less than that to lose two starting offensive linemen back to back like that. So, I mean, what could have happened? That's the game I've been playing these last few days since the game. If we would have had our starting line, I have a lot of faith in Cade Mays. He's played a lot for us at center. Zavala has had some reps, not as much, a younger player. But like would the game would it still have ended on a sack? Would there have been as much pressure on that last drive? Man, I don't know. And just it's going to be hard. I was listening to Panther Talk, and the guys were asking Coach Canales about, yeah. So you feel good about Cade Mays, you feel good about Zavala, sure. If they they're not starters, or they would have been from the beginning. But now your backup, which was depth that I've been applauding. I told Dan Morgan before the game, I said, man, I just am so impressed with how you were able to keep everybody together and have that depth. That's so great. I think I jinxed the team because now our depth, we had to bring in a guy off of another practice squad, sign him to our active roster. So that's going to hurt, Jake. And yeah, a lot of fight in that game. Sure. At the end of the game, said how impressed I was with Bryce to start off with a fumble for a touchdown, then an interception, man. Like if you have any self-doubt going on, that could have just reared its ugly head that whole game. He ended up having a career day for attempts, completions, yards, and tied his career high with 3 touchdowns. So I was impressed with that young man in a really pressured game. And then T-Mac, you and I both were having a ton of fun just watching him in this game. He ended up going for 100 yards. He's up for rookie of the week, so make sure you can vote for him. But there are bright spots, Jake, and I'm going to focus on that.
I agree with you, Jordan. I think, listen, I think a lot of the rookies, and I'm gonna start there. I think T Mac. I think we've all seen Jordan. It's effortless when he catches the football. He snags it out the air. I thought one of his better plays the other day was the third down play, and he was a couple of yards shy of the first down. He caught it. He took a step to the inside and then whirly bird out to the outside, and the cornerback whiffed and was able to get the first. And he just it's extremely easy and when he catches the football. And I think Bryce there's a connection there already. Nick Sporton was able to play a little bit. I think Princely had his first sack. He can close to the quarterback. That's something that I was very impressed with. Even Etienne, it's pretty easy when he catches the ball, when he fields these kicks on the kickoff return. And he's got great natural contact balance and things like that. Made a nice play when Bryce threw him the ball one time. And then Lathan Ransom, I thought his tackles, there's a intentness when he tackles. It's a thump. It's a grab and put to the ground immediately. I believe Mitchell Evans had a catch, his first catch, so that was nice. So we're getting some production, in my opinion, out of these guys, and just we're gonna need them to continue to step up and to hit the O line situation. I feel good about Cade Mays. He's played center. He's a big body for us. You never want to lose Austin Corbett. He's such a leader. and things like that. But I feel good about Cade coming in. It's Zavala. This is a big opportunity for him, and he's battled some injuries because Robert Hunt, he's a difference maker. I mean, this is a big, large man that can move well. He brings energy, he brings juice, and he brings some thump to the offensive line. So that's going to be an area where hopefully Zavala can grow as much as he can as a player this year because he's had some injuries. We drafted him, I believe, the fourth round out of NC State. So that's something you'd like to see some progress there.
Well, I just the losing the line last year was Derek Brown, right? Like right off the bat, boom, he's out for the year. And now we haven't been to my knowledge, we haven't officially declared either one of these guys out for the year. But a torn ruptured bicep, that's a year deal, man. Like I would be shocked if he comes back. I don't know yet about Corb's knee, but yeah, just I mean, unfortunate, man, to put more pressure on Bryce right off the bat. Leggett, that's the guy we talked about during the broadcast, Jake. He had 8 targets. Now, I don't think all those were like catchable balls. We mentioned that on the air. I continue to be really to really respect Coach Canales because his messaging does not change. His coming out being 0-2, like when you listen to him on his presser or Panther talk, there doesn't seem to be like any doubt in his process and how you do things. And I like that he stood up for Liga, said, I believe in this guy and just he needs to keep grinding and good things will come his way. After having a little bit of time to think about that receiver position, Jake, what do you think about XL?
Yeah, Jordan, I'm one that I expected a big jump from him in year two, to be very honest, because we saw flashes last year. I know he had an offseason, foot surgery, I believe. He battled a wrist injury last year, but you saw flashes of a big, strong man who was fast, right? And we just haven't seen it so far. Now, in his defense, um, I think the Jacksonville game, he needed to get on the corner route. He needed to drag that other foot. It's very simple. And then I don't know what happened on the miscommunication in the Jacksonville game on our fourth down play inside the 10-yard line. But to go into this game, we tried to get him the ball early. We tried to get a speed sweep. We didn't block the end man on the line of scrimmage, and he had to belly it out. He did a good job of getting 2 yards because it should have been a loss. And then we tried a quick screen rip him, but the ball was behind him. So he had to turn away from the line of scrimmage. So really couldn't crease that. And then in the game, a couple did bounce in front of him. And there was a couple that there was sticky coverage. He just couldn't separate. And the DB made a play. We did try to go to him on the 2-minute drive late in the game, Jordan. He was the number 3 receiver inside on a nod move, on a double move, and he was wide open and Bryce was throwing it. Bryce had pushed. The guard got pushed back into Bryce's lap and the ball got batted down when he went to throw it. So, that would have been an opportunity. So yeah, I'm like you. I still think there's something there. I'm like Canales. I'm not giving up on the guy. We're gonna need him at some point in this season, and you just sometimes it's just one catch, right? One catch, and next thing you know, something happens, something clicks. So yeah, but you could sense there's maybe a little frustration because I thought we would have seen more out of him.
Isn't it weird? I've never been a receiver, obviously. I've never been a quarterback, but as an offensive lineman, you have times when you just feel as if everything is easy and smooth. Your pass sets, your footwork, your body feels good. You're understanding the play structure, your assignments. For me, like anticipating the snap count. We've had fun in the past about offsides or whatever, but there's times when you're just in the groove, you're in the zone, whatever that is. And then there's times when you're not, man. It's the same body, the same technique. It doesn't feel good. It feels like you're clunky. You're overanalyzing everything, Jake. What? And I don't know, XL. I didn't talk to him. I'm just talking about, for instance, if you're not having the production you want, like what's the process to get back on track, to get on track, to get out of a funk if you're a quarterback and things aren't going right? How did you correct that, Jake, in your career?
Well, I think the biggest thing, Jordan, and there comes moments and times where you want to get in rhythm, right? And I know, especially when Dan Henning was our offensive coordinator, I thought he was fabulous at this. As the game plan went along during the week, you build your game plan up from first and second down passes and runs and things and screens on Wednesday, and then the third down and red area gets introduced and you practice that on Thursday, to kind of everything on Friday with short yardage and goal line in a 2 minute. So you build it up, right? And you feel comfortable. But Dan Henning always made me, I had to highlight in every area of the game plan my first and second play that I liked the most. And so I would do that. And then on the back of the game plan, he would want me to write down 6 pass plays that I felt I could complete without any questions asked. It didn't matter what coverage, whatever it may be. And if ever I was out of rhythm, he'd start calling those pass plays. He'd go down the list, and he could kind of get you back, jump you back into rhythm. And that's something that, I think that can be done sometimes with a player to get them back going. I don't know if with the O line, hey, this is a play that we run well, we know how to run it, we can make adjustments on the fly if a defense will stem late or move late or whatever look we get from the defensive front and things of that nature. So, but that was something that I always felt very comfortable in. If there was a time where just kind of wasn't seeing it the best for whatever reason.
And it seemed like that's what Canales was trying to do early in the game with Leggett. They threw him that little, they gave him the
Yeah.
fly, the fly sweep. They gave him that quick throw out there. So, to your point, a big old body, man, strong kid, and excited with what T Mac's done. And I think XL comes along. That's going to be a pretty impressive young situation for our quarterback and our receivers there. We're 0-2, Jake. There's 10 teams that are 0-2 right now. Some of the surprising ones, the Chiefs are in there, Texans. The other one, the Titans, with the rookie quarterback, maybe not a surprise there. Dolphins has had some issues going on. The Saints, another division opponent, are 0-2. Falcons, we're playing next week, are 1-1, and the Bucks are 2-0. So this is the time of year, fourth year in a row, Jake, that we've been 0-2, which is, something that we've kind of gotten used to. But 2-0, 0-2. This part of the year, you can say there's all things to say, like, hey, we're only a couple games away. We could get back in the hunt quickly. 0-2, okay, is the hey, we can live with this. 0-3, ooh, tough, Jake. 1-2, all right. Now we're only one game away from 500. So this coming for our home opener against the Falcons with an incredible running back in Robinson, and Penix, still kind of finding his identity, but pretty pivotal game for us, Jake, at Bank of America Stadium this weekend.
Yeah, I think so, Jordan. And one, because it's division and it's Atlanta. And I felt great when we left the Atlanta stadium in early January last year, watching us drop a 40 piece on them and watching Bryce, I think, threw for 3 and maybe ran for 2 and just kind of watched us make plays. And I just think defensively, we're so much better just due to the sheer fact of the personnel that we have. But Atlanta had a big win last Sunday night on the road in Minnesota. They feel good about some of their young draft picks, as do we. And a second-year quarterback and Michael Penix, they feel good about. They have a phenomenal running back. I think he's one of the top 10 players at any position in the NFL. I think this guy is a freak show, Bijan Robinson, a really good receiver in Drake London. So, yeah, it's a huge game for us, and it's back home. And I think the biggest thing, we got to start fast. That's where we killed ourselves in the last 2 games. We've got to come out and start fast, be it getting a stop on defense or offensively, get a drive, get points. Can't turn the ball over. That's been so critical in our first 2 games. You don't give yourself a chance to win if you turn it over. And we're not that team that we're not good enough to turn the ball over and overcome that right now. We're just not there yet.
So, what do you? If you're a Panther fan, you're going to Bank of America Stadium this weekend, Jake. What's your ask for our Panther fans? Right, like, so everybody's holding their breath right now. What are we going to be? What's going to happen here? And the Falcons, they travel well, Jake. They're not a team that historically like would take over an away stadium, but there's going to be a lot of Falcon fans in there. Our Panther fans, I would guess some of them are deciding right now. All right, what are we? Are we in or are we out? What are we going to do here with the team this year? So, what's your ask for Panther fans coming to the stadium to watch this game?
Well, listen, I come and be ready to be loud, right? And let's hopefully we can answer the bell on offense and defense and special teams. And let's get them into the game. Let's give them something to scream and holler and cheer about because, I mean, we don't like Atlanta. I mean, like, that's a professional hatred, right? That's a division opponent. And we're searching for our first win. So, there's a ton of optimism going into the season. Um, that you would hear kind of in the Charlotte area and things of that nature. And I think the biggest thing for us, and I said it before the season, I want to see continued growth from this football team. I don't think we've seen it yet. I thought defensively played a lot better last week. I put in a bad situation, but for the most part, really played some decent football last week and offensively. It's the turnover issue that's biting us because we haven't had a chance to get our run game going, and that's what we want to hang our hat on. I think we have some players that have showed up, and they're the consistent selves. So just come out, be ready to be loud, and let's hope we can give them something to be loud about.
You're in the booth. Is Luke back in the booth with you?
Yes, sir. He is back in the booth, and so I know he's chomping at the bit, like I am, for us to kind of get in the win column and get going. Try to get some momentum moving in the right direction.
After our first game together, Jay, give me the scouting report differences between having Luke to your right and myself. I mean, I know I'm better, but just,
Yeah,
break it down.
there's no doubt. Listen, all jokes aside, I think Luke is, and especially sitting next to him, I have the visual. I can kind of see out the corner of my eye. Just watching him diagnose an offense and watching, from shifts and motions and things of that nature. Just the technical aspect of playing defense. That's where he sees it so fast. He sees offensive line play on like pin and pull play or gap scheme or zone because that was his reads, that was his eyes at all time. And I think just with you pick up so many things on the offensive line. Like on one of the sacks the other day, in essence, you were very upset in the booth. You were like, "Hey, we got to pass that off. That is not." They should not have had a free runner at the quarterback. And that's something that I think is it's fun when you sit with an offensive lineman because you know what was supposed to be done here, where a hand was supposed to be posted. It should have been passed off between two offensive linemen with a gain from the defensive line. So that's kind of what I enjoy from both of those sides.
As I sat there next to you, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Sometimes I'm like, I don't really want to say anything because I want to hear what Jake has to say because it's so entertaining. And you're looking around like when you're talking, you're grabbing a niche or me. You're looking side to side like with that Jake DeLome intensity. Man, it was a great time for sure. Hey, we talked about it during the game that I spotted Icky puking right before the play. We were able to confirm that afterwards, Jake. You were with me down in the player family area. He said, "Yes, I did puke." And I said, "Did it keep the defensive end from rushing you?" He said, "Yeah, man." He stopped halfway through and said, "Ew." So it is a new technique to be utilized for every offensive lineman listening.
It is. He was walking, and I said, "Hey, did you puke?" And he said, "Twice." And he said, "I felt so much better after." So
Oh,
just think about it. He missed. I mean, he had an appendectomy. I mean, he missed a couple of weeks, and all the plays and pass setting. I don't think people understand what's it like. You're just pass setting the whole second half. It is
yep.
so difficult.
Yeah, enough to make a guy puke. Well, let's hope he doesn't do any of that in Charlotte this weekend. It goes smooth, man. I'm gonna miss being there. I had a great time seeing you, but have fun with everybody out there, and tell everybody hi. I'll talk to you next week, bud.
Sounds good. Good luck this week.
Whether you're kicking off a campaign, gearing up for an event, or suiting up your team, 4imprint has the promo products to move your brand down the field. With thousands of customizable options like premium apparel, drinkware, tech totes, and giveaways, it's easy to score fan favorites that deliver impact. You'll get expert support, speedy delivery, and their 360-degree guarantee, so you can be 4imprint certain your order arrives exactly right on time. Explore more at 4imprint.com.
4imprint for certain.
This is Julian Edelman from Games with Names. As a fellow dude, do you ever get that not-so-fresh feeling in your butt? That's because you're probably using the dry stuff to wipe. Wet, extra-large, flushable dude wipes get what toilet paper leaves behind in your behind. You wouldn't clean the tail end of your truck with dry paper towels, so why would you wipe with dry toilet paper? Wetter just cleans better. With dude wipes, there are no more dingleberries, no more itch and irritation, just a deep, down the seam, confident clean. Plus, unlike baby wipes, dude wipes are extra big for adult hands. You're not a baby, So keep them on hand so you get nothing on your hands. And speaking of on hand, Dude Wipes come in different scents and pack sizes, including a single-use, on-the-go pack that you can take anywhere for that home field advantage. Stop being an a-hole to your b-hole. Drop the toilet paper. Available on Amazon and major retailers nationwide. Dude Wipes, best clean, pants down.
Get almost anything you need delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a well-groomed lawn delivered, but you can get a chicken parm delivered. A little escape? No. A delicious bowl of grapes? Yes. Yes, that. An afternoon stroll? Sorry, no. A burrito bowl? Happily, yes. A day of sunshine? No. A box of fine wines? Yes. Uber Eats can definitely get you that. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now. Alcohol in select markets. Product availability may vary by region. See app for details. Get almost anything delivered with Uber Eats. Order now.